It looks like a memory lock. Great, just what Ryan wanted.
Hi!
Here's the candy bar you wanted.
Great! I'll start fixing it right now.
Yes?
Did you work directly with Niko?
No one worked with Niko. We barely spoke to each other. That's the way he liked it. He practically lived in the lab. If he wanted to look at my work, he'd just root around in my hard drive.
So he'd come in here when you were gone?
No, he'd use the network.
He'd just snoop in your files? That seems kind of annoying.
Not kind of. Entirely. It's unethical, and it allowed him to steal.
What do you remember about the day Niko died?
More than I'd care to.
I imagine. Did anything stick out?
Yes, the police. It was weird. One of us killed Niko, and here they were, talking about a basketball game, like it was any other day.
What else do you remember?
I remember Ryan. They took her out in cuffs. She came back the next day. Never said a word about what happened.
You mentioned Niko stealing your work. Can you prove that?
No.
You must be pretty upset about that.
Say what you really want to say.
Did the police know your feelings about Niko?
What a peculiar question.
Do you have a peculiar answer?
I do in fact have a peculiar answer. I actually told the police the truth. A more interesting question is, how is Ryan still a free woman?
Why shouldn't she be?
In this case, the smoking gun is a miswired Tesla coil that she built.
Ryan said that Niko would talk to her. Does that seem true to you?
No. The two of them hanging out? Can't picture it.
You said you were searching for Niko's work. Did you ever look in Niko's personal things?
Of course I looked.
I'd better get going.
Goodbye.
I need to connect all of the circuits. All done. Now it's time to etch the design. The red must mean it's locked. I bet if I turn everything blue, it'll open. I'd better measure this first. Did that. That's done. If I want to mix another solution, I need to throw this old solution out first. If I want to mix another solution, I need to throw this old solution out first.
It's Wednesday. I've clocked 49 hours of work this week. I found another note from Ryan on my door this morning. This time a threat. She continues to surprise. She's smarter than she looks. And then later she confronted me by the couch in the lounge and handed me another of her threats. I didn't bother taking it with me. The coil as is, it's little more than a plaything. I can't get the proper flow using the original design. I've got schematics drawn up for an entirely new prototype, but maybe that step isn't necessary. The math is solid, and the small-scale experiments are running at an efficiency of about 80%, and that's using the old design. I checked in on Mason's work today. He has the strangest attraction to exactly the work I'd most like him to avoid. I'm starting to question if he knows what he's toying with. I've made my message to him clear, yet he keeps going back to the rough materials application portion of the process. Perhaps it's time Gray tightens up the network to keep him in line. Maybe it's time to replace him. He's been less of an asset than I expected anyway. I'm finding myself spending more and more time down in my study in a state somewhere near sleep. Viewing the schematics in my mind, looking for flaws. Doesn't make sense that I'm finding none.
Whoa, better follow up on this.
Hi!
I found these notes in the lounge. Is this your handwriting?
Yes?
So you admit to threatening Niko.
It looks like a threat, but it really isn't.
What else could it possibly be? It says right here.
I know what it says.
Then what?
A warning. It means just what it says. He wanted me to build something that could kill him. I had to make sure he knew what he was working with.
Do you have anything to prove that's true?
You know what? I need you to leave me alone right now. Go, please.
Yes?
Did you dislike Niko?
Very much so.
Would you go as far as to say you hated Niko?
I would go that far, and further. That guy was a jerk.
That seems a little disrespectful, considering...
Does it? Am I supposed to pretend he's great now that he's dead? Lots of jerks have died, and he's one of them. He's a dead, brilliant, jerk madman. The world would be much better off if he'd lived to share more of his intellect. But I selfishly am glad I'll never have to deal with him again.
It seems strange to me that you could be so blasé about a murder.
I deal with things on my own time. But if you are desperate to watch someone cry, Ellie's always available.
What do you think of Ellie?
She hates me so much that she switched to the night shift. Come to think of it, she hates me so much I should actually feel a sense of accomplishment, which I now do. There it is.
What did you do that she dislikes you so much?
Why do you assume it was me?
I took an educated guess.
I did too. Still couldn't figure it out. But the fact remains, we are not besties, as she likes to say. We are worsties.
I better get going.
See you later.
Nancy, Ryan's alibi stands up. She couldn't have killed Niko.
What? How do you know?
She told the police that she won an award. That was her alibi. But it left her with enough time to sneak back in. It wasn't airtight. Close, but not perfect. There was nothing in the crime database. But I had a hunch. I went to the journalism lab and used their photographer database. The ceremony was a national story, so a bunch of freelancers put their shots up for sale.
You found pictures of Ryan, but what does that prove?
By itself, nothing. But count 'em, two different photographers submitted photos of Ryan standing near a visible clock.
She couldn't have made it back in time.
Yes, that was the finale I was building to and was excited to get to say out loud that you interrupted.
Oh, Deirdre, you're amazing.
That is a genuine compliment. Okay. I'm working on tracking down the photographers, but it could take weeks. For now, it looks like Ryan's in the clear.
Ryan was threatening Niko. I found one of her notes.
What's it say?
Unless you're dying to see the inside of a body bag, I suggest you rethink your plans.
I admire the directness. Well, good. I was hoping this paper would be short.
Ryan says the notes were taken out of context.
Say what now?
Yep.
Yeah, in my experience, no one buys that line.
I don't know who to focus on now that Ryan's been cleared.
I can't help you there. Whoever did this was very calculating. It's sort of too bad that the rest of your suspects are scientists.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were starting to enjoy working with me.
No. It's just that I'm bored and I'm completely out of episodes of TDPD.
TDPD? Is that a... What is that?
The best show on television. Ever. And you've never heard of it? Nancy, he was a linebacker and now he's a crime tracker. Ring a bell? Officer Downs, anything?
Sorry, never heard of it.
Sometimes it's like you live on Mars.
I better get going.
Bye.
Victor here.
I found a way to prove that Ryan's innocent. It wasn't her.
What? What do you mean?
Photos from her award ceremony prove she couldn't have made it to the lab in time. It's not possible.
That can't be true. All of that evidence, I'm sure it was her.
Deirdre's working on getting the photos over to the police now.
They'll reopen the case and everything will just stall out again.
Okay, what's my next move then?
I don't know. I have to think. Hi.
Ryan's innocent.
One down. Maybe she can help you out.
Deirdre was actually helpful.
That might be more surprising than Ryan's innocence. So what's next?
Everyone else. Any word on the background of the crew here?
Funny thing you ask. Yeah, sort of. Niko has a file, but it's classified. Surprisingly, so does Gray. But we don't know what's in there.
Interesting.
But Nancy, you can't tell anyone. I had to sort of bend the rules.
Have you ever used a rapid prototyper?
You mean a 3D printer? That's an awful name. It doesn't even make sense, but yes, they're pretty cool.
Any advice on how to use one?
Sure. It's all about following the steps. You've got to make the design, send it to the machine, find the prototyper, and start the fabrication process. Then, you wait. Impatiently. That's just you.
I'd better get going.
Later.
Hi, Nancy. Look, I wanted to apologize for how our last conversation ended. I just want this investigation over. I was so sure it was Ryan. I guess I was just blinded by how much I wanted to wrap things up.
I can understand that.
The more I think of it, I'm glad it's not her. She always made the place a little more fun. I guess it's time to take a long look at everyone else. Keep an eye out. As we narrow in on the suspect, things might get a little dangerous.
Mason says Niko was stealing from him. Is this true?
No, because the work isn't Mason's to begin with. It's a little troubling that he views it that way.
Did you know about Niko's diaries?
I knew he kept audio notes in his office. He had a player there. No clue how it works.
Can you tell me anything about Gray?
I don't know much about him. He was one of Niko's hires.
Niko brought Gray on?
Yes, I have no idea why. He's a head case. Watch yourself around him. Understand?
Did you know Ryan was threatening Niko?
Do you have proof?
I found a note, but she claimed it was a warning, not a threat.
Likely story. It'd be very convenient for her if you believe that.
Goodbye.
Bye.